Are you a new or aspiring finance leader and you've heard that a mentor could potentially help you, but don't really know how? Hi, my name's Alysha Randall, and I am a fractional CFO, and I also train new and aspiring finance leader within startups and scale ups. And today I really wanted to talk about mentorship and how that can really help you in your finance leadership role. If you're new to my channel, I talk about how you can develop to be a really strong finance leader and become a finance director or CFO within the startup and scale up world. It is quite different to a large corporate and a listed entity. There's certainly different nuances and challenges. And so I talk about how you can grow within this leadership role, how you can essentially get the leadership role if you don't have it yet, and also how you can support your founder the best way possible and essentially be really good at your job. So if that sounds like you, if you're an accountant and you are working through your finance career, then please do hit subscribe. I release a video every Thursday and you can check those out every week. So, as I mentioned, I wanted to talk a little bit today about mentorship. I know I personally have benefited from mentoring. I've had both mentors when I've worked within, as a more junior person, and I've worked under really strong CFOs. I've actually been quite fortunate to have really strong CFOs above me. And one in particular really took me under his wing and really kind of developed me as a finance leader. And I'm still in touch with him today. He's currently reviewing my book manuscript, which I'll talk about another time. So I really kind of value his opinion, and he's really top of his game. He's a brilliant CFO. And then I've also had mentorship, a bit more of a probably a more mentor program, shall we say, both with, say, paid coaches, which are slightly different to mentoring, but I've certainly had elements of mentorship outside the corporate world. I also, right now, because being a fractional CFO and trainer, I do have a couple of mentees that I see on a regular basis. And then also because I train new and aspiring CFOs in my course and we have monthly Q&A sessions, then, I kind of do feel some of that mentorship role with my students. So I feel that it's a really important part of that trajectory into that leadership role. I know, as I mentioned, I certainly benefited. I'm hoping the people I work with certainly benefit. I mean, so far so good. And I think it's even more important with startups and scale ups because there isn't that internal infrastructure that you may get with a large corporation. A perfect example is if you are the only or the most senior finance person in your company and you aren't a seasoned CFO. That's not to say that seasoned CFOs don't have mentoring. I certainly do a lot of mentoring still today. But actually, it is much more important because you don't have that person to ask questions, to guide you, and to really develop your career. So getting that help outside your company is like crucial, essentially, for the development of you and your career. So mentors can, not only just help you with solving problems within your company, but it can really help you develop your leadership skills. It can help you navigate some really tricky situations, which absolutely helps, particularly when you're dealing with people, because obviously in a leadership role, you're dealing a lot more with people. So a lot of the tricky situations are because of human relationships, and you don't often find that written somewhere. You can't necessarily find that in a textbook. So instead, talking to someone who can help you with that because of their prior experience. But also they can really fast track your career. So, you know, they help you offering advice, strategic decisions, as I mentioned, leadership development, and also financial challenges. So they ideally, you want to find someone who has walked the path that you're already on. So, you know, they've either moved from industry into startup and scale up, or they've done that working from a more junior role up until that CFO role. Ideally, you want somebody that has tread the same path as you, so they do come with a lot of experience that they can share. And also, nobody's perfect. They can talk to you about errors that they've made, potential pitfalls that they have experienced, so that they can help steer you away from that, and hopefully you learn from their mistakes. I know personally that, you know, in my courses, in my blog posts, and as I mentioned, the book that I've just finished writing and is now being edited, I do talk a lot about the mistakes. And I find that the mistakes that I've made, they're things that you never forget and you learn from so quickly. And generally, that's where somebody who has been around for a while made more mistakes than you have, and therefore they've learned a lot more and they can share that experience. So mentors can help you set career goals, so they can help you understand where you want to be in your finance career and how you can get there. Particularly now where the landscape is changing a bit, and it's going to keep changing dramatically. You know, with AI, the introduction of AI, financial operations is certainly going to change quite a bit. I did talk about in a prior post, you know, I think it was titled Robot's Going to Take Over My Job. So I know that particularly with junior accountants or people considering an accounting career, this may be a concern for them. So if that's something you'd like to read further, it's linked in above or below. But they can also help you identify your strengths and weaknesses, and then think about, okay, if these are my strengths and these are the things that I really enjoy, what kind of role within a finance career can I really lean into and will make more sense considering who I am. They can also offer strategic insights, so they can share perspectives on skills, on certain strategies, and leadership qualities that you need in advance. So they can help you identify certain gaps that you may have, and that things that you can then develop further with what you're doing. They can also provide networking opportunities. So they really open networks, doors to networks that you may not have even heard about or may not have the opportunity to access, you know, if you hadn't got this mentor. So I know, for example, when I'm in my Q&A sessions, I'll often be asked about recommendations on lawyers or, you know, specific tax people or insurance brokers or lots of different things like this. And of course, I have a short list that then I'll give recommendations in the UK and the US in particular. Or they'll ask about certain networking opportunities. So I'll give some recommendations in London, for example, or say some software that I've used, you know, all those kind of things. A mentor can certainly help you with those. And then they can also offer guidance in difficult situations. So managing challenging relationships, negotiating business deals, a mentor can really offer support with those kind of things. So what does a successful mentor relationship look like? So it's really built on trust, lots of communication and mutual respect. So a successful mentor relationship isn't just somebody that you have a coffee with once or twice a year. It doesn't to say that they may have been a mentor previously, but if you want a really successful mentor relationship where you can just rapidly grow, you do want to have that regular communication with this person so they can help you a bit more immediately. Obviously, both parties need to commit to this process. It is a little bit time consuming for both the mentor and the mentee. I think as a mentee, do really need to understand how much time you are asking of your mentor. So if there isn't any financial, you know, if you're not paying for this mentor to help you, you need to kind of respect the amount of time that they're giving up. This is why I keep, you know, that mentor-mentee relationship. I will never have more than two at any one time, just because it does take up a lot of time. So so just respect that and understand that. So and therefore, as a mentee, it's really important that when you do meet them, that you do come prepared for each meeting. So ideally, you want to come with clear questions and clear goals in mind, so that you're not wasting their time, essentially. So mentors, as I said, they don't need to be somebody within your company. Ideally, they're in your sector. I think if you're in the startup or scale up, ideally you want somebody within the startup or scale up at a minimum, so they can just understand that business environment and the challenges that come with that startup or scale up. If you are finding a mentor, if you want to find a mentor and you're finding that really difficult and you've tried for a while, there are different ways. Of course, enrolling into my online course, like the Financial Leadership Fundamentals, is a good way of developing those skills required to become a CFO. So this course does provide insights into leadership strategy, finance, relationships, challenges, all those sort of things. So that is one way that you could look at it. Otherwise, you could look at industry groups that can help you with some professional development as well. Anyway, so that is my thoughts on getting a mentor and how mentorship is really useful for that leadership role. If you are very interested in developing a leader, then I do have a leadership guide that's free to download. So there is a link below. So feel free to click on that and download a PDF straight to your inbox, and that can help you with that leadership journey. And again, don't forget to click subscribe if you're interested in this topic. I'll see you next week. Cheers.